I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's a great time to purchase an investment condo in the city of Toronto. Supply is super high right now, and for once, buyers do have the upper hand when it comes to negotiations. 2023 was not a great year in terms of condo appreciation, and with rate decreases right around the corner, the outlook for Toronto condos is looking pretty good right now. Just the other week, I posted a video outlining the 7 steps to buying an investment property. You can check out that video right here. So in this video, we're gonna go through the whole process using a real life example, breaking down the steps from choosing the right unit to crunching the numbers. What's up everyone? My name is Fady Nakhla. I'm a real estate broker here in Toronto. If you get any value at all from this type of content and you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're thinking about investing in real estate here in the city or in the GTA and want to book a one-on-one appointment with me to have a chat about how we can help you with the whole process from start to finish, I have all my contact information in the description below. I'd be more than happy to help. So let's get right back into it. So step number 1 is getting a mortgage pre-approval. So let's say for this example, we submit all our documents to the mortgage broker and we're approved for a maximum $750,000 at the current fixed interest rate, which is, last I checked, 5.14%. And I have $165,000 in my bank account for 20% down payment and for closing costs. Step number 2 is defining our goals. So for this search, I'm looking for both appreciation and equity buildup. I know positive cash flow might be hard to come by at the current rates, but I'm not able to put any more money down to reduce my mortgage payments. So we're just going to have to accept the fact that it'll probably be negative cash flow at least at the start, but we'll try to minimize that as much as possible. Step number 3 would be now choosing the type of investment. And based on my goals, I'll be looking for something to buy and rent out. Step number 4 is choosing the area, neighborhood, or building that I think will be good investment. So at this step, I can actually start looking through the properties currently on the market, and then I can analyze the areas as I find them. So at $750,000 as my cutoff for max price, I know I'm most likely going to be looking at 1+10 units. But with the slow market that we're in, I do want to first do a quick search for 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom units to see if there's anything that may be available, because something like that would most likely rent for more. And then that way I can try to minimize that negative cash flow as much as possible. So we get 19 results for units with this criteria, but I also want to filter out the units that currently have tenants, just because number 1, if you're in a building that's rent controlled, they're probably already paying a lower than market rent unless they were signed this year. And then number 2, I would just feel more comfortable doing my own due diligence in choosing the tenant myself. It is no secret that the landlord and tenant board here in Ontario is not the greatest when it comes to handling disputes in a timely manner. So I just want to make sure I'm involved in the tenant selection process. That way I can do everything I can to avoid having any future problems. So we're going to choose either owner occupied or vacant. And that gives us 13 results. So let's go through them quickly and see if there's anything worthwhile. And if not, then we'll widen our search to 1+10s. So the first one here is 783 Bathurst Street, a little more north than I'd like. I prefer to find something closer to the core if possible. So let's skip this one for now. Next, we have 319 Jarvis Street. This building actually isn't built yet. This is an assignment sale. So someone is selling their contract. So we'll skip this one because we're looking for something currently built that we can rent out. Then we have 55 Center Avenue. I like the location of this building at Dundas and University, but the building itself is just under 35 years old. And with these older buildings, you tend to have higher maintenance fees. So the maintenance fee for this unit is about $1,200 per month. So that's definitely too high for me. So we'll skip this one. Next, we have 12 York Street. Again, I do like the location of this unit right next to Harbourfront, but this building, 12 and 14 York, known as ICE condos, you've probably heard about them on the news or on social media. They do allow short-term rental, which isn't a problem, but along with the fact that the building has poor management with constant elevator and flooding issues, it just has a bad reputation. So I tend to stay away from this one if possible. Next, there's a few around Bathurst and Lakeshore. We have 151 Dan Leckie Way and 600 Fleet. This area is referred to as City Place. There are a bunch of condos here that were built by Concord, who is not a bad builder, but definitely not one of the top ones. The values of the condos here are still increasing year after year, but just not as fast as some of the other areas. So for now, let's keep looking. Next, we have 19 Western Battery Road, which is located in Liberty Village, just about 5 to 10 minutes from the core. I'm a fan of Liberty Village. I like the area. I've personally owned a condo here myself in the past that did very well. So this building is called Zen. It was built by Centercourt, who is a reputable builder. The building itself is only 3 years old, which is great because it means the units are not rent controlled. Any building built or occupied after 2018 is not rent controlled, so this one does fall under that category, meaning you can increase your rent as you please year after year for your tenant. You don't have to follow the city guideline. So I think we may have found something worthwhile here with this unit. There's 2 units listed for sale, but one of them has actually already sold conditionally. So we're left with unit 2609, which is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and also does have a den. This unit is just under 760 square feet. So at this price point, you're looking at just under $1,000 per square foot, which is really good for a downtown condo this new. Let's do a quick walkthrough of the unit, and then let's go over the numbers. So for the unit itself, pretty solid layout. I don't love the corner bedrooms with the sliding glass doors. It's becoming a lot more common with newer condos, but because you do get a legitimate den with a sliding door, which would be great for an office or a potential 3rd bedroom, plus it's very well priced, I'd say this is definitely something that could make a good investment. You're on a higher floor, which is again good for value, plus the maintenance fee is only $565 per month, which is pretty good for a 2-bedroom unit. So the first thing I'm gonna do now is find out how much the unit is worth and how much we can possibly offer, because again, we are in a buyer's market, so you as an investor do have the power right now to negotiate. So when I do a quick search, I can see that similar units in the building were selling at the peak of the market back in 2022 in the low 900,000. For the most recent sales, we actually have one sold just a few days ago, unit 2209. So it's another '09 unit which has an identical floor plan that sold for 698,000. There was also another unit, unit 3109, a few days before that sold on January 4th for 719,000. So offer-wise, I'd probably go in the high 600s, but let's say for our calculation's sake, we do end up securing the unit at 698,000, just like the last unit to sell. The next thing we're gonna do is look up the rental rates for similar units in this building. That way we have a rough idea of how much we can rent this unit for. So there were 5 or 6 similar units to rent out in the last 3 months, and they rented for between $3,100 to $3,400 per month. And I can see the ones that were more aggressively priced did rent right away. There was one at $3,150 that rented in 4 days, and one at $3,200 to rent out in just 2 days. So let's assume we can rent out the unit for $3,250 per month. So when I go to my investment calculator here, I have to fill out all the red boxes. It's pretty much all the things we know. So we said 698,000 for the purchase price, $3,250 for the rental rate. The monthly maintenance fee was $565 per month. The annual property tax for this unit was about $3,045, and then we said our interest rate was 5.14% over 25 years. So right off the bat, we can see our monthly cash flow is negative as expected. Out of pocket, you would be paying just under $900 per month, which is about $10,500 per year. You would need upfront just about $161,000 for your down payment plus land transfer tax, which would be your biggest closing cost. There's a few more closing costs, but they are significantly lower, and I like to keep this spreadsheet very simple. We're going to assume for this example that you are in the 30% tax bracket, which means you make about $80,000 per year. This will impact our capital gains tax when we sell. The next part here is appreciation. So this is obviously an estimation, and I like to be really conservative here. So for Liberty Village, the average appreciation, even with what's happened with COVID, with the peaks and the drops, the average appreciation over the last 10 years is just over 9% per year. So we can play around with these numbers, but let's start with about half of that and assume a 5% appreciation rate. So if we were to sell in 5 years, when you factor in what you need to pay out of pocket, your equity buildup plus the increase in value of the condo, you make just over $107,000. This is taking into account everything: the land transfer tax you pay when you purchase the unit, your realtor fees, and your capital gains tax when you go to sell the condo. The only thing I'm not factoring in here with this spreadsheet is vacancies. You know, that month or two when you may not yet have a tenant, but at the same time, I'm also not factoring in the potential rent increases, so those should somewhat balance each other out. The cool thing here is if we do say sell in 7 years rather than 5, you'll notice our return almost doubles. And then if we were to say sell in 10 years, it almost triples the return we see at 5 years. So you can see why this has to be a long-term plan. The longer you hold the unit, the return does increase exponentially. These numbers, as is, in my opinion, make this a worthwhile investment even at the lower appreciation rate of 5%. But if you do end up receiving a higher increase in value in reality, say 7 or 8 or even 9% like the average, which is very likely, you can see how the return again is significantly higher. This spreadsheet has saved me tons of time because, as you can imagine, when you start to compare multiple units with different price points and rental values, it's really nice to be able to plug in the numbers and compare the end results side by side. So if you want a copy of this spreadsheet, by all means, send me a message or leave a comment below and I'll send that out to you right away. So if this type of investment, or really any of the others that I discussed in this video, do sound like something you may be interested in and you want to learn more about, you can reach out to me again using all my contact information below. Obviously, I may be a little bit biased since I am a realtor, but I really do believe that real estate is one of the best investments that you can make. We can help you with the whole process from start to finish, going through and analyzing properties just like we did in this video, to helping you find a tenant and then continuing to keep you updated with yearly checkups on your unit. That way you're always completely informed about your investment. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. I'll catch you on the next one.